Well, howdy, y'all. Welcome to another lit episode of the High Voltage Live Show. I'm your host, Willie Snyder from NEC Code, coming to you live from the Mile High City in Denver, Colorado, joined by my awesome co-host, the King James Stallcup, over there in Longhorn Country, giving old hook of horns from the Mile High City. And like I say, really awesome. He's representing the Stallcup Electrical Education, the best online education you can get. And as always, we got a little bit of a sneaker coming in here already looking for his prize, man. Can you believe it?
Who's that again? I don't recognize him.
Looks like it's old DJ himself. Welcome in, sir. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you.
Well, we figured out 85 is the year he was born. That's what he said.
Yeah?
So he's
True.
an 85er. Hell, I graduated in 82, young pup.
Yep. Yeah, and like I said, I graduated in 95, so don't feel too bad, Daniel. Don't let King James pull rank on you. You know, these guys, they like to, pull rank on you, throw you under the bus and everything, try to make up all these extra years in the trade they got on you. You know what? I don't know why they do it, but
It's funny. I was at the pool hall the other night, and one of the girls that waits on us and everything. And we were just sort of sitting there talking. I don't remember, somebody said something. And they said, hell, he's the oldest fart in here. And she goes, how old are you? I said, well, how old do you think I am? She goes, I thought you were probably around 45. I said, shit. I said, wow. You better go up quite a bit. And she goes, 50? I said, she goes, 55. She goes, there's no way you're 60. I said up. And she goes, wow. How old are you? I said 61. She goes, how? She goes, you look younger than the guys that are in their 40s here. I said, yeah, well, so I take care of myself pretty good. I said, if I lost some weight, I'd look younger, but I'm not doing that. Canada versus USA tonight.
Yeah, I really want to see Canada win, but the thing is, I had to postpone Canada beer night. It was Canadian beer night tonight. I had to postpone it. I had to get American beer. So,
I'm assuming that's hockey.
Yeah, okay. It's world. Welcome in, Mr. E, David Engelhardt.
Hey, David.
Electrical Wizardry in the house. So. It's gonna be a good one. I mean, I guess Trump's actually going to the game. I guess it's in Boston, so there might be a little bit of extra fighting going on. I don't know, but we'll see.
Within 9 seconds.
Yeah, the thing is that like I say, we got our champion Avalanche players up there playing for Canada. And we won the Stanley Cup with a lot of Canadian players, and when you look at like all the teams historically that's won the Stanley Cup, they've been pretty much 50, maybe 60% Canadian players that's won the cup. So Canada's got a lot of good talent and stuff. So I wouldn't be shocked if they won this. But Cale Makar pop off like 10 points or something, but I don't know. They are going up against pretty awesome goaltender, so it's gonna be interesting,
Oh yeah.
Like I say,
I had one update. Thanks to Bill. I've been looking, and it'll be next year before it comes in. I've been doing the research on it, but I'm actually setting up where I'm going to create an AI brain for the electrical, and it will take me a year to create it, but basically I'm going to create it there's a lot of things you got to do in order to do this correctly, and a lot of information is going to have to go in, but I will have commentary that will be on there for like different sections of the code and things like that. And basically showing what the code says as I'm explaining something and all that. I'm basically going to build the brain. And from what I'm looking at, I can take and set it up within each individual program. And as you're studying, you can ask the brain questions and stuff and have it answer for you based on that. It should, whatever course you're doing it with, I will have the information in there where it'll jump back and forth to it. So it's going to be another high end level function that I'm going to put in. And as I start adding, I'll probably do a chapter here, a chapter there, a chapter, just keep doing each chapter. And as you get into each one of those chapters, I'll put the link to the brain and everything. And actually what it does, from what I'm understanding, I can put a security key in and all this stuff into the learning management system, and you can click, but the information is contained on another site that it's for. But you can do it all right there on my site. But it'll be strictly where it'll do NEC, the standards, and OSHA. And I'll probably do some UL stuff in there and all that as I get further into it. But hopefully within 2-3 years, we'll have a AI brain that's created for the electrical industry that will be on the stock of electrical education side. So just a little something we're looking at.
Yeah, and like the idea that I came up with, so I take my code questions of the week and I always ask ChatGPT. And so then what I do is I'm going to go in, I'm going to get ChatGPT's answer. And then when King James comes on to answer the question, I'll tell him what ChatGPT's answer is, see if he agrees with it, disagrees with it, or, usually, James knows the code references and shit. So we'll see, but I call a new segment Man vs. Machine. So then it's kind of cool because the one thing I noticed that with ChatGPT is it's weird. It doesn't actually keep the like if it learns a lesson, it doesn't actually keep learning it. Like I already told this the right answer, and so then you get to know like did I tell it the right answer? Is it right or is it still wrong? And so it's kind of cool because then you're gonna know right away like hey this ain't right. And then we'll be able to go in and tell ChatGPT, like have documentation, like, hey, this was wrong. This is on the date. You got this wrong. And so ChatGPT is pretty confident that it's got the right answer this week.
Well, I'll tell you why a lot of it isn't. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't.
I've heard people talk about that, and it's spitting out a lot of wrong information. And sometimes it won't even answer because it doesn't know. And I'll tell you why.
True.
When you get into a lot of this new stuff, technology and stuff, it's all fantastic and everything. But there are certain things you have to do in order for that chat or that AI to function properly. And what it gets into is you may ask it a question and it'll just pull information from all different sources, but them sources haven't gone in and explained it and cited sections of the code and things like this and what that says. And as ChatGPT gets further along, what's going to end up happening is people are going to start inputting all this information where they're drawing this conclusion from. And
I'll have to try that out though, 'cause, yeah.
Well, and what I'm thinking as I started looking at all this stuff, a lot of the information you're getting with ChatGPT is people have gone in and they verify their references and everything. They especially like when you get in, if it's helped anything more than anything in as far as AI is concerned, it's education. And you get into colleges, things like that, high schools, what they do, they verify everything and then they put the reference sources backed up and they put all the information in from that backup source. So what ends up happening is pulling from all this. Well, as far as the electrical industry is concerned, they're not putting all these sources in to verify and explain where the answer come from. And as you do more and more of that, then the the AI brain's going to start learning. So what I decided was I'm going to set my own AI system up with its own brain and everything. It's going to cost a pretty little penny to do this. But
Right.
as time goes on, I'm going to keep feeding the information, the references, the sources, the backups, everything, so it can pull it all in. And the great thing about Chat GPT or for an AI brain is it starts listening to words, okay, and words that are in there. So, in other words, like I'm going to cover the different branch circuits tonight, words will have a meaning, and Chat GPT is going to go through that, and it's going to say, well, wait, this word isn't here. So, there, in other words, there's no outlet here. Okay. That's what it's going to end up doing. And then I'm going to explain the resources and stuff behind it and give explanations and all of that. So, uh, Chat GP or the AI brain, it's going to look at that wording and it's going to figure out if that wording's there and it's saying what it says, not somebody's opinion. And this goes back to things I've stated over and over. You have to take the code and use it as a whole. And it's going to
Yeah,
eventually
and
look at the whole code with the wording and stuff, and the brain's going to figure this out and say, wait a minute, that's a problem right there. So
yeah,
that's why
and
we get
I
missed.
I think that is a number one reason why I wanted to do the myth of the week. And like the thing is too that you're gonna notice is that all of these guys that try to push all this stuff through in the code to make all this expansion go through with all this GFCI, they didn't anticipate this artificial intelligence, you know, and the whole thing is like guys like Weedman, he gets it, he gets it, and I agree, so like it's one of those things where you have to have control of the machine, you know, and it's not about like letting a machine do your job. It's about helping get your message out. Use the machine to your benefit. And
Well,
to help it. Collaborate all this stuff together. They said today I took a test on one of the things, and they said I was like great at collaboration. You know,
Well,
so
what I'll say
it's
is
awesome.
the AI brain that's on that once it gets better and better at it, it's just another function. The publication's still there, the illustrations are still there, um, all the interactivity's still there. It's just another function that's in there, and it'll be part. Like when you look at the course the way it's set up over on the left hand side, I have where you have your learning path, and then you have where the um, you can connect with other users. Then you have a discussion tab. Well, that's where the Chat GPT will be set at, is going to be in the discussion tab. So if you want to go in and ask questions in the discussion tab and see what it says compared to what's there that's being explained through the publications and everything, you can reference that. So actually, it's just an extra tool for somebody to learn to use. It's not
Yeah.
really the teaching program. So the AI brain is not there.
It'll actually be proof that you're wrong, Jeremy. So yeah, see, that's
Well,
what I'm saying. It's proof that you're wrong, and that's
what
that's that's a
what I
good
want to
point.
say to that is when you're working and trying to add, additional functions, and this is a function that's costing me some money to do all this. Once I put that in there with the course itself, it's bringing another level to the training process, and just to automatically go in and dismiss it, and like because I can hear Jerry. Apprentices learn better when somebody's in front of them, because he teaches an apprenticeship. You know,
Hmm.
I agree with that to an extent, but there are things. Not every instructor knows everything. I mean, I don't know
Oh, what's
everything.
up, Worm Brothers in the house, man? Long time
Yeah.
no see, brother. Good to
So
see you, man.
I don't know everything. but there are other things that the Chat GPT may be able to see, on other sections or explanations on something. And I'll give you an example. Let's say somebody wanted to go in and calculate and determine the amperage that was going to be there for an X-ray machine, for instance, and you're going to size over to that. Now, I can tell you can go look at all these other publications. You ain't going to see that. But we have a publication that we used to do. We don't publish anymore, but I'll pull from it when I get ready, which is the Electrical Calculation Simplified publication we had. It covered every calculation in the code. So I'm eventually...
There's a bunch of different models of AI, Jeremy. We're just saying ChatGPT as like a common
Well,
thing.
the AI that I'm going to create is my own individual brain. Has nothing to do with ChatGPT. Yeah. Matter of fact, this brain will be specifically for electrical. So, it'll be for electrical and all the different standards that go with it. I may come in and add something in electrical that deals with the gas code and all the different gases and stuff, and add information into there, and it starts building one step on top of another. And eventually the brain's going to get very, very smart in understanding how the standards and everything work together. And
what's pathetic is you not knowing hazardous location.
First of all, it's not pathetic. It's another option that you bring to the industry. And I think people will find it pretty interesting. Basically, what gets to be pathetic, you get something that's in there where everybody can have access and everything, and you got the courses and stuff. Then all of a sudden, what Jeremy's really saying is it may make him obsolete.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why it's pathetic.
He's not gonna go call out Paul because I think who was it? David was saying something about Paul Abernathy. Yeah, Paul Abernathy has a TradeHog AI application that he's already using, and are you gonna go call him pathetic? I mean, yeah, go call him pathetic. Hey, should we do the meme?
Let's go ahead and get the meme, Brennan.
Dude, who slipped that in there? Oh man. That's got to be somebody, dude. God. Oh man, somebody slipped that in there. Dude.
That's funny,
man. Come on, man. That's messed up, man.
That's
I don't know who did that, but
that's another reason I like doing the podcast. I like it because I've really laughed at some of the memes we had, and I've also really laughed at some of the.
Dude, whoever did that, I'm buying you a beer, right? Man, that's man. Like everyone thinks I make memes about myself. I don't make memes about myself, man.
Somebody else made that.
Yeah, so.
Well, that goes over the post that was done last week. It's sort of funny.
Yeah, Worm Brothers loves it. Oh man.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and roll the myth of the week.
All right, let's do it.
It's time for Myth of the Week.
I want to thank everyone for following the Nat King Code page this week. I had a really good week. Man, this hit like 10,000 like in the first hour since I posted it. And there was a lot of people that really didn't know, and kind of what I do is I go on, a lot of these different podcasts, and I'll kind of argue with some of the inspectors. And I didn't really get a chance to argue with King James on this one a little bit, but like I say, he had some stuff going on, so I didn't get a chance to really try to see if he passed this one or not. But this comes down to like a kind of like a common trade practice. Like, I would tell my apprentice, like, why are you taking an EMT out of that extension ring when you could just take it out of that 4 square box? To me, honestly, it comes down to trade practice. But this is the myth of the week is not about trade practice. So true or false, flexible wiring methods are required when using the KOs on a surface box extension. For one, this isn't a surface box extension. So I kind of wanted to do this just to kind of show something that is not. So this is actually code compliant. There's nothing wrong with this. Now there was a lot of people that were in gas and oil, a lot of my industrial friends that were calling me out, and David Englehart got it, this week he got false, so you're correct, David. I did get some people to say true. And if I was in this situation and my apprentice wanted to run a half-inch EMT or whatever, 3/4 EMT out of that extension ring, I'd say, nah, dude, don't do that. Because you want to be able to take that extension ring off. And would I say you have to have a flexible wiring method go into it? Like, no, it might be better. I had to add some, conductors to this box, and you could tell they're already short. That's kind of why I have them pulled out of there. So you could see, I try to do this as like a real world thing where you're actually adding circuits to this box, and you're like, hey, did this guy follow the code when he ran that conduit out of that extension ring? I'd say he's all right, but at the same time, I don't see the reason for it. If he didn't have any open KOs, I'd say, yeah, go for it. But to me personally, I would say from trade practice, I would say do not do this. But from a code standpoint, I don't really see anything that says it's illegal. But to me, honestly, I wouldn't do it in the trade, But I never really got your take on it, James. So I'll let you kind of take the ball and run from here. I know this probably makes your blood boil maybe a little seeing this.
Well, the reason we want to talk about it, my dad fell, and he hurt his shoulder pretty bad and his ribs and stuff, and he's having a hard time. Last night he was sore and hurt really bad, and he's like, I think we're gonna have to go to the emergency room tomorrow morning. And that's like the second day. When he woke up today, he was feeling better, and he's moving around slow. I mean, hell, he's 85, and he had a pretty hard fall. My brother's truck sets up a little bit. He got out really quick because he needed to use the restroom, and I think he stepped on a rock or something, caused him to twist his foot, and he just hit the ground, and there was a little curb there, and he landed right on that curb, and he's sore. So I've been having to help him get up, and he has trouble getting up on his own. And so I've been having to help him get up and down and put him in bed. And, he's just really sore. So that's why I've sort of been busy this week. But anyway,
I got you.
This is an interesting one.
David has a good point there that if it's terminated to a box cover, so if that was an actual box extension that was a cover, then yeah, you would need a flexible wiring method to it. So I agree with that, David.
Yeah, and then I put in here because you said surface extension, but anyway, it was interesting you put this in there because I actually did run into this one time, and it wasn't as a inspector in Grapevine. I was in Alaska and doing stuff there at the oil refinery. Somebody asked me a question And I said, well, there's nothing in the code. I said, but um, uh, I would, if it was me, I wouldn't want it going to the, I would want it to go to the box that's up there. I said, that to me, that's good. Well, anyway, they actually put in their like a, I don't want to call it an amendment. It wasn't an amendment. It was just something they put in, like documentation they had there that.
Oh, like a job spec.
Yeah, like a job spec, that they would never do that. And everything went to the main box, and anything they used as an extension, you didn't run any conduits, flexible, anything into it. And that was just something they put in there, even though the code didn't really get into recognizing what they were doing. They just made it an all-out rule throughout the facilities that they wouldn't do that. So reading the question and what it said, I agree with David. The answer is false.
Yeah, and the reason I wanted to do this is because I wanted people to realize where you have like the job specs and you have like the actual code. And you have to know the difference between them. You know, sometimes, a lot of times, some of these union places, they'll tell you, no, don't run rigid raceway out of those extension rings, and nobody ever questions it. And I think that's where a lot of these, myths come from. And it's nothing wrong with that. You know, if the, IBEW doesn't want to run, a conduit out of an extension ring, that's fine, but the code doesn't permit it. So
that is
it's just one of the reasons why I want to do like the myth of the week kind of thing. Big shout out to like all the brothers of the electrical industry out there that are out there every day installing this stuff, and a lot of the foremen tell them like, hey, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this. And I actually was one of the apprentices that thought that this was actually a code for a long time. Like I just never questioned it because that's the whole reason I wanted to do the myth of the week, because I was one of those apprentices that was just never wanting to question the foreman, never wanting to question the inspector. I mean, now I actually have apprentices that are running up questioning the inspector because they know they can. And I'm just like, no. King James will rip you apart, But, and it's just funny stuff. Like, they're like, hey, do you know that the inspector has to show their license when they show up? And it's like, yeah, they don't want to see my license. I don't got it on me. But I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. But, it's just that whole thing that, I want there to be a generation of electricians that are able to communicate with the inspector, and the inspector be able to communicate back with us, because I want the inspector to know the reason they put that in the code. Honestly, if an inspector said, hey, that has to be a flexible wiring method, I'd be like, show me where. And then we go through the language, kind of like what we did this week. That's why I was so happy to have so much participation in the NAC code this week from actual guys who are out there in the field. And big shout out, we got 3 over there on the Rumble side, so awesome, 3 on Rumble.
Awesome.
But that's the whole thing with this myth, is it is actually busted. You do not need a flexible raceway, and you can run a rigid raceway out of there. And like I say, I was one of those apprentices proven wrong, but that's why I wanted to run it this week, because it was one of those ones I wanted to get out there. And I will have a myth book coming out, so you guys need to let me know what you think is like your favorite myth, and I'm going to put it into a book, and we're going to get them all together. And then you could just, if anybody wants to talk crap or anything, you just pull out the myth book. King James busted it, and it's on. You'll have a good argument, get a copy table argument at your electrical table,
sure,
at your print table.
All right, let's throw down what topic of the week.
Topic.
Get it going. All right.
Yeah, can't wait for this one. I already know what happened.
Well, there was some discussion on the groups and stuff, and you know, I can do all kinds of topics all day long, but sometimes you run into a couple here, and you're like, that'd probably be good to go through that and let people make determinations for themselves what they think as far as it applies when you're dealing with these different branch circuits. And
well, there's one fact that everyone has to consider on this one. I submitted a code change for 2026 to add outlet to the definition of individual branch circuit, and they couldn't do it. To me, I don't understand why. I don't understand. They go, it already said it. Well, it doesn't matter. Why can't you add it? So that's kind of the reason for this is I don't understand why they couldn't add the definition of outlet to an individual branch circuit. Why is that branch circuit so special? Well, it's mandated in a bunch of different sections in the code that you supply the equipment with the individual branch circuit.
Well, one of the things I'll point out, they come back and said there could be more than one outlet. So I saw that, so I just put an apostrophe or a parentheses S on the end of outlet, so it could be one or more outlets, and they turned it down. So, you can't have it both ways. But anyway, so what I did is I pulled out the 5 definitions here, main definitions. And what I want to do first is I just want to sort of explain what it says when you look at an outlet, okay? And it says a point on the wiring system at which current is taking to supply utilization equipment. So it means there's an outlet there, and you're taking the current from that outlet in order to supply the utilization equipment, okay? Sure. And then they have in NFPA, they have right under, if you go to NFPA link, they'll have enhanced content. And basically it talks about the term outlet and how it's frequently misused to refer to receptacles. And it says, and they'll say, although receptacle outlets are outlets, not all outlets are receptacle outlets. Okay? And then they give you some common type of examples of different types of outlets, and they'll list in there appliance outlets, lighting outlets, and smoke alarm outlets. Okay? Now, this is where I have one of my arguments. Okay? And I'm going to explain why I do here. Now, if you go and you look at a receptacle, basically this is my point of argument here. A receptacle basically is what? It's a device, okay? Yeah. And it tells you that contact device is installed at the outlet, okay? So if it's installed at the outlet's not a point. It has to be something physical there. So that's why I said it's the box, and it'll tell you it's for connection of the attachment plug, or listen to this, or for direct connection of electrical utilization equipment. Okay? Yeah. And it says that it's designed to mate with a corresponding contact device. Now, when
that's actually a location. Mm-hmm. That's been like our argument the whole time, is that is a physical location.
Sure. And then if you go and look at a receptacle outlet, it says there it's an outlet. So they're telling you it literally is an outlet. And it says where one or more receptacles are installed. Okay, so it's something physical for the receptacle to be installed there in the first place. Okay? Now that you got that out of the way, then we look at these definitions at this point. Now, this is where I get into looking at this as a whole for the NEC. And if you look at a branch circuit, It tells you it's the conductors between the final overcurrent device protecting the circuit and the outlet or outlet. So it's telling you there a branch circuit can supply one outlet or it can supply multiple outlets. That's not up for debate at this point. Now, the other thing I would look at here is, and I think this is important to look at, but you need to look also at the definition of appliance, okay? And when you look at the definition of appliance, what is that? It's utilization equipment, and it says, and generally it's other industrial, and it tells you it's type equipment that's fastened in place, stationary or portable, and it's normally built in a standardized size or type, and is installed or connected as a unit to perform one or more functions such as, and this is where it gets into it. It says clothes washing, air conditioning, food mixing, deep frying, and so forth. So right there, they're giving you an example such as air conditioning. Now, hold on a second. I want to finish something up there. Now, when the 2026 comes in, and I'm going to show you here, because they commented on me and they said you couldn't give examples when I submitted the definition of types of locations. They actually wrote that's in violation of so-and-so. Well, guess what? In the 2026 code that's going to come out, what I just read for you there for an appliance, all them items I listed, air conditioner, deep fryer, all that, guess where it's going this time? In an informational note. But I don't know how the code works.
Yeah, and so what we're saying is, against Weedman here, is you're saying that you have to have a piece of utilization equipment in order to have an outlet with the new definition?
No, you don't. If I go over and I put
if you don't have utilization equipment, you don't have an outlet.
Let me put it this way. I'm looking at a receptacle right here. Nothing's plugged into it.
Okay.
But there's still an outlet there.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got a receptacle and I've got the receptacle outlet, which I say is the box. Okay. But let's go a little further.
Install in an outlet.
I just talked about an appliance, and it specifically stated an air conditioner can be an appliance. Everybody agrees with that at this point. So
and
I've read everything.
Outlet. I've said ACs are not outlets.
No, it never said an outlet is. It said it's an appliance. Nobody ever said it was an outlet. Okay? And that's why I was reading that. Now you look at the definition for an appliance branch circuit, and what does it say? A branch circuit that supplies energy to one or more outlets. So it's telling me it's supplying energy to one or more of those outlets. Now listen to this. To which appliances are to be connected. Okay? That means they're connecting to it. It's not saying that the outlet's inside and you're connecting the branch circuit to the outlet. It's saying the utilization equipment is connected to the outlet.
And it doesn't say the outlet just automatically exists because of the branch circuit.
That's right. So looking at that so far, it's automatically stating here that I can go over and take one circuit over there to go to one outlet. Okay? The connection to the air conditioner, no, it's not. It is if you're connecting to an outlet. An outlet has to be installed. But let's go a little further. Let's just look at a general purpose branch circuit. It says it's a branch circuit that supplies two or more receptacles or outlets for lighting or appliances. Okay, well, let's just take a look at that because this is what we get into when we start looking at our outlets. Okay, so I want to look at this point as an example. We'll look at outlet boxes. Okay. And if you go to 314.27, that's where you're going to pick it up. And this is where you're getting to your boxes that are designed for your luminaires, lamp holders, things like that. Now, I want to point one thing out here, and showed you exactly some of the terminology that's here. And then from this, you can sort of see they're using the exact same terminology here. This isn't me telling you, this is what the code says. Okay.
Right.
Now, if I look at this, and I'm going to look at 314.27C. And when you get at the very first that sentence, it says, and this is for your ceiling suspended paddle fans, okay? It says outlet boxes, or listen to this, are outlet box systems. So they're telling you you can go purchase one of these that is an outlet box. It's a system that's put together in order to support that ceiling fan.
Sure.
Okay? Now, if you go down a little bit further in 314.27D.
All right, yeah. We like that, Jeremy. Right on. He agrees with that. Dude, you guys are agreeing. That's cool.
Well, now pay attention. Now, if I look at D, it deals with utilization equipment. Now, let's just see what it says. It says boxes used for the support of utilization equipment other than my ceiling suspended fans shall meet the requirements of 314.27A for support of a luminaire that is the same size and weight. Okay? Then if I go back up and look at A, what does A deal with? Outlet boxes or fittings. Okay? And that's designed to support the luminaire lamp holder. Nowhere in there does it say that the fixture is the outlet. And if I go back and look at 314.27E, what does it say? Boxes used for the support of what? Utilization equipment.
It doesn't say anything about fittings being an outlet either.
No. And that's what I'm saying. I'm just, this is why I argue this. You know, Jeremy, they can say you're an idiot, whatever. I'm literally reading the words to you here. And it literally says.
Dude, he's stroking out in the comments. He's just agreeing with you like massively. So,
well, just listen to it.
Appreciate that, Weed Man. Yeah, just keep agreeing. Whatever.
When it looks at it, it says boxes used for the support of utilization equipment. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, if the utilization equipment is the outlet, then why does it refer me to 314.27A and the first word in there is outlet boxes or fittings designed for the support of luminaires?
True. And another argument, what do you call the conductors that go from the luminaire to the box? You know, they're supposed to be part of the premises wiring, I thought.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
but
like they're not. They're conductors that are undefined.
Then that was an A1. If I go down to A2, it talks about the ceiling outlets. It says that every outlet used exclusively for lighting, the box shall be designed so that a luminaire or lamp holder can be attached. So it's breaking it down right here. This isn't me saying this. They literally have a section, 314.27A, that says utilization equipment, and then you come right back up here and they call it what? Outlet boxes. Okay?
Yeah, and dude, Worm Brothers, that's a good point. Pigtails? Are they called jumpers? You know what I mean? Like, what are they called? The code doesn't address them. They're basically going from your utilization equipment to your outlet. And they're really undefined, honestly.
Well, let me take that a little bit step further too. And this comes back to where you're doing your research. I'm writing the code change book, okay? Code Making Panel 5 come in and tried to take out the term jumper. Well, in the SCR, which went into the second correlating revision, they said, no, you're not doing that. So what they did, they say jumper, but then they also have in parentheses where they'll say equipment bonding jumper. Now they're also going to call that's the preferred term. And then the second preferred term will be equipment bonding conductor. So it's still going to be called a jumper. Okay. Yeah. Now why does that have to happen that way? And see, this is other code panels wanting, thinking they have the moral authority that they should go and change stuff without consulting with other panels. Because if I go over and I look in Article 314.16 and I'm looking in there, what do they define for sizing that box? They call them jumpers. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to give Worm Brothers credit when I say those are branch circuit jumpers. Like, why can't we have branch circuit jumpers defined term? Because it jumps from the utilization equipment to the outlet if you have an outlet.
Sure. Now, what I'm trying to point out is I'm giving everybody examples here. I'm reading exactly to you what the code language states. And you take, like we were talking about, an AI brain. An AI brain's going to look at that, and it's going to say that wording's not there. Like they tell me and you all the time, words are hard for you. No, words ain't hard for us. It's you're picking and choosing where you want to apply them words, and you're not looking at it as a whole. So if you look at these first three definitions, everything in there, they're talking about outlets, right? Yeah. Outlets. An outlet for this. And if you look at that general purpose branch circuit, it says a branch circuit that supplies two or more receptacles, or, look at this, outlets for lighting and appliances. Now, this goes back to what I was saying. They're trying to tell you that the utilization equipment has an outlet at the utilization equipment. And I said, no, it doesn't. That's a termination there. Well, if you look at the lighting here, I just read to you, 314.27E talks about the utilization equipment, and then it refers you to 314.27A, and you pick that up, and the first words in A1 says what? Outlet box. So they're telling you where the location is, and they're literally calling the box the outlet. It ain't a point. They're saying the box is the outlet. And the same thing, that's why I started off with a receptacle outlet. It says that's where the receptacles are installed. It's a physical place that you establish. This is why I have a problem. Now, if you look
it's not just a place that exists by default. Like, that's been my problem, because they're like sitting there. This has been my problem. I know you've gone through it too, King James, but it's basically like where they say, oh, well, it could be at this side of the whip or that side of the whip. So you can put the outlet wherever you want. You could say that this luminaire is the outlet, and this luminaire has a factory whip, so the outlet's out the box. You can't do that.
Well, and I'll give an example. They have stated that the receptacle and the receptacle outlet are the same thing. No, they're not.
Yeah.
They're two total different things. Just like the lighting unit, the luminaire, the utilization equipment is separate from the outlet box. It's two different things. There's no outlet at the lighting fixture. The utilization, it's very specific, in my opinion. There's no outlet at that utilization equipment.
It's going to get even muddier. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry that I had to do this to you, drag you through the mud on this one. But all the public inputs that we stated, made it even worse. And we were trying to make it better because we were trying to kind of call them out on their bullshit. But it didn't work, and they pushed their bullshit through. So now it's even worse now. But now they actually have a new definition for outlet. They actually pushed GFCI. They basically copied and pasted 210.8 and put it in 625.54. And I'm just like, wow, really? Just because I changed one word, I just put outlet in the definition?
Well, I think there's going to be, this is going to be interesting. I've always had this argument, and people can go back and research everything I'm going to tell you here. But when it came in, they put 210.8F. It wasn't soon after that they had to do a TIA, and then they come in and started. This is where the air conditioning argument came up, and they had to put an exception. And in other words, my argument was at that time, if they wanted GFCI protection, that's a specific appliance, and that should have been put in 210.8D.
They couldn't have got it passed at that time, is my opinion.
I think so too. I think something did not. But furthermore, they did not have the technical merit to do it in the first place. The AC equipment was not a problem. It was either it was the way it was wired, wasn't wired properly, or somebody wasn't performing maintenance on it properly and applying 70E and the OSHA standards while working something energized. Now, looking at that, you got two definitions left. You've got an individual branch circuit, and what it says, a branch circuit that supplies only one utilization equipment. Now, if I'm going over there and just say I'm just supplying an AC unit, I could be supplying a welder, anything over. It doesn't matter what I'm supplying. That is what it's for. It's to supply one piece of utilization equipment. And it doesn't say anything about an outlet there. If that's the case, it's an outlet, you don't even have to say utilization equipment. You can say a branch circuit that supplies only one outlet. And we put that in there as a change. Of course, it got rejected. I wonder why.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I find interesting too, is that not only that they said that me adding the word outlet does not add clarity.
Sure it did. It added it.
So if it doesn't add clarity, then that means that it's not needed. Because that means that, and they even substantiated that and said the existence of one outlet is not required to exist, straight from Code Making Panel 2. So
that's why I put the parentheses S after outlet, and they rejected it too.
You can have an individual branch circuit that does not connect to an outlet by the way they worded that code change. So,
sure. But look at this.
They should have added it.
You look at a motor branch circuit. It says the circuit conductors, including equipment between the motor branch circuit, short circuit, and ground fault protective device, and an individual motor. Why didn't you just call it an individual outlet since you're trying to say there's an outlet there? That is my whole point here, is when you're looking at these different definitions here, two of them, no mention of outlet, but all the rest of them, you have outlets.
Dude, I love this comment from Worm Brothers, man. This is exactly my point, Is there any single outlet that supplies more than one piece of equipment? That's exactly my point. Like, I couldn't believe they rejected it, Like, I was just like, what? Because they said that you could have more than one outlet supply one piece of utilization equipment. I was like, what? I mean, it blew me away, and that's the thing. Worm Brothers, like, dude, I'm telling you, like,
Well, think about this. How many of you seen where they have an individual outlet going? That's an individual branch circuit, but they got a receptacle there. How about a microwave? I've seen that.
Yeah.
That actually was something that a lot of jurisdictions required. You go to that microwave, they want an individual branch circuit over there. But there was an outlet that you plugged into.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that frustrated me about it is I asked these guys after they rejected it to give me an example of a piece of utilization equipment that's connected to an individual branch circuit that connects to more than one outlet, and they couldn't think of one example.
No, they can't, because that's what I'm saying. You get people on these code panels now, they don't really know what they're talking about. And
I was blown away. I was like, what? You can't even think of one example, but you rejected it? And the whole thing was, I just wanted to put outlet in the definition so we could just get this argument over with, but they can't do it because the outlet is not required to exist as long as the equipment is connected to one piece of utilization equipment.
But all I'll say to wrap this up, if you just look and just go review 314.27 dealing with a lighting outlet. That's just an example for everybody. You'll see they mention an E, the utilization equipment. Then they tell you that utilization equipment is installed and connected for what? 314.27A. You just move right back up, and the first word there says what? Outlet boxes. End of discussion, in my opinion. But the thing is, nobody wants to comment or answer that. Instead, what do they want to do? They want to just call you names and give you other type of installations. They don't want to acknowledge what the wording says, as they like to tell us, words are hard for you. No, words are not hard. We're showing you where it says that. Matter of fact, the other thing that I find very interesting, if you go and you look at Article 314 and just go to the very first of Article 314, the first word in there is outlet.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, and dude, Warren Brothers got me, bro. Warren Brothers got me, man. Right on, brother. Appreciate you. It doesn't. They said it right there in their substantiation that an outlet is not required to exist on any circuit.
So anyway, that wraps that up for tonight.
An outlet is installed, and that's the whole thing. Is like, how do you like install an outlet and connect utilization equipment to it? It's really easy. How do you not install an outlet? You know what I mean? Like, it gets really convoluted. Like I said, we really kind of went through the weeds on that whole thing. You know, I like what Warren Brothers says here. This is a good point, you know. An outlet that is connected to a receptacle, you know, like that.
Well, not exactly, because you can take like a ceiling outlet for a lighting fixture. That's the box is the outlet. It literally says that in 314.27. If I go over and I have a piece of utilization equipment outside, and I go over and I have a box there, it's like a ceiling outlet. That box becomes the outlet that you're connecting to. But if you go straight to it and direct wire to it, there's no outlet there. So in other words, if I put a disconnect out there like an AC unit, and see, let me explain one more thing so everybody can understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, so like the dry trap, what we're saying on that, Warren Brothers, is that there's no outlet because that's not utilization equipment. That's a dry trap transformer, you know. So
well, let me give an example. When it first come out, everybody realized that we're trying to push this. They had a problem because they realized there had to be a box there, something you had to connect to in order to have an outlet. So what was their first initial response to this? They said the disconnecting means on the load side was an outlet. And I told them, I said, no, that's not true. Jeremy and all them guys over at ECD, they all were pushing that narrative. They can say they didn't, they're lying. Bill saw it all. Everybody that was over knows that's what they
individual
said.
Branch circuit is what is the defining term there. That's your definition.
So I went back and I said, no. I said, if you look at a disconnect, it means, I said, that's a device. I said, if you're going to say that, go look at the definition of a device. I said, hell, you're telling me a circuit breaker can be an outlet. So they went away for about 3 hours, and then they come back and said it was at the AC unit. And I said, okay. I said, is that rated for a wet location? And they said, what the hell's that got to do with it? I said, well, if I go out there and put any wiring methods, a box or anything outside, it has to be rated for a weatherproof location. And I said, if you're gonna take the NEC and use the NEC and apply it, that's got to be rated for a wet location, and it's not.
True. And there's a lot of things that one of the definitions that you posted with like your motor branch circuit, and they are calling the end of that wiring method to be an outlet. Are those motor pecker heads, are those required to be accessible?
Yeah, no. That's the whole point. that's why when you go in and you start looking at that,
are they
stuff,
required to have working clearance on a motor peckerhead?
well, and this is why it gets back. How can you got the panel there, panel one, which I think NFPA is not going to allow this, but they literally stated that the NEC overrides the listing and labeling manufacturer's instructions. Well, hell, if that's the case, why do they even have a listing and labeling? You're going to take responsibility?
Do you think that if the motor manufacturer required working clearance for a freaking peckerhead, that anybody buy that motor?
Hell no, they wouldn't.
You can't do it, dude. Like, that's what's so dumb. That's why I keep telling these guys is there's a reality, like when it comes into gas and oil and everything, like when we're in these gas and oil projects, like we have to consult these engineers and we're like, hey, this is our only choice. Like, what's our option here, you know? And we go in there and we consult with the inspector, we consult with the engineer. We have like nuclear physicists in the building, and I'm like, hey man, I could install this motor, but which way do you want me to clock it so that we have the maximum amount of working clearance, whatever you want. But the whole thing is, I'm not saying clock it at 90 degrees so we have 3-foot working clearance. I'm saying clock it at 90 degrees so we have a couple inches to get that cover off. But we're actually making sure that that's in electrically safe work condition before we pull that cover off, And I think that's where a lot of this 70E stuff goes wrong, is these guys just think everything's worked on while energized. And we're out there in the field, we have to look at all this different stuff. I've been working with medium voltage, and medium voltage is even worse. You don't have electrically safe work condition just because you shut the switch off.
Yeah.
So, that's stuff you have to think about. And, especially in a supervisor position like I am, I'm not going to have my crew work in an electrically unsafe work condition, I tell my apprentices, if it feels wrong and you think it's wrong, it is wrong. Come get me.
Yeah,
and we'll make it better.
Well, I think it's good to come in and look at just like we just did here, and break everything down and look at the wording and see if you agree with what I'm saying. I mean,
yep, I 100% agree.
I didn't make anything up. I read it word for word. So, all right.
Oh, dude, there's only one person that said you made things up, and nobody listens to him.
Yeah,
but anyway, you want to do the Willie quiz?
You want to do tour of the week real quick? Get it out of the way?
Yeah, we can do that.
Now, let's go ahead and get it out of the way. Then we'll do Willie quiz.
All right.
It's time for Tool Review of the Week. Sponsored by Electricians Only Tool Review and Nipex Tradesman.
All right, so this week is really awesome. I have the congratulations to all my friends of the Yellow Decker. They have a new bandsaw. It's really badass. It actually cuts 3-inch. I had the pleasure of using this the other day on one of the job sites I was on, and man, this dude had this thing. He said he got it for about $300, $350 something, which is pretty cool, pretty good deal. I think they changed a lot of stuff on the DeWalt bandsaw, really made it way better. They said this could cut up to 3-inch rigid, which is really good. Like I say, some of us do these data centers and stuff. You might be able to probably get it through with a 4-inch, possibly, without having to go all the way through the center. Like I say, I love the DeWalt with the batteries, last so long. They actually improved the design. I really like the way they set up the blade covers and stuff, because a lot of times with my bandsaw, I have the medium sized one. It kind of catches on the stuff. It catches on the wheels and stuff, and little things that are probably not that great, but it still works, and I still am able to cut through stuff. But this is the next generation of DeWalt, and I feel this one has a real competition with Milwaukee because Milwaukee has the best cordless bandsaw out that can do 4-inch all day. The Milwaukee Deep Cut is the best on out of all the electrical tools, but this one actually I would say rivals it. It's lighter. It's got a way better battery power. And it's got a way better trigger speed too. So like this one, you could actually dial the trigger speed, which is the first thing I saw in DeWalt a lot. But there was like really cool things I liked about it, and the enclosed blade compartments too. That was really cool. But like I say, I would rank this probably one of the best DeWalt bandsaws that's ever come out, and actually rank the Milwaukee actually higher than the DeWalt, but still, like I say, this is for 300, 350, whatever the range is. I think they had one for about 400 that I was looking at with like a battery, charger, stuff like that. I would rank this pretty up there, and I would say it's going to be rivaling the Milwaukee. So,
cool. All right.
Appreciate it. Appreciate everyone checking it out. But like I say, if I was gonna go buy a new bandsaw, that's the one I go buy right now.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, let's get into the Willie Quiz.
So,
This cracks me up.
Yeah. Freaking Adam. Thank you so much, Adam. Appreciate it. All right. Question number 1. Before the 1980 Miracle on Ice, when was the last time the United States defeated Canada in Olympic hockey? Was it A, 1960, B, 1972, C, 1956, D, 1936, or E, 1964? Good luck, everyone.
Okay. First of all, is all this going to be about hockey?
Yes.
No, shoot. Oh, this is going to suck. I don't know anything about hockey. Now,
No, I got a good tiebreaker.
I do know. The only reason I knew the Miracle on Ice is when they beat Russia, and I remember that was 1980 because I was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah, and they beat Canada. Dude, I actually was like, no way am I doing this question. Because King James is going to know it.
I have no freaking idea.
Dude, let's see. We're starting to get some answers in here. Worm Brothers, B, 1972. Oh, good answer, man. What's Daniel say? Daniel's going A, 1960.
I have no freaking clue. I'll go C. I have no idea.
C, 1956. Oh, man. Daniel gets the win on this one. It was 1960. Good answer. Daniel got lucky, man.
I can tell you I have no freaking clue. Let's see at your next one.
And dude, Worm Brothers is straight up guessing too.
Me
man.
too. I have no freaking idea on hockey.
Awesome for hanging out with us, Worm Brothers. It's all good. All right. So question number 2: which Canadian goaltender infamously allowed the own goal in 2026 World Junior Championship quarterfinal against USA. Was it Carter Hart? Was it Zach Frackle? Was it C. Malcolm Subban? Was it Mason McDonald? Or was it E. Carey Price? Good luck, everyone.
Ah, shit, this ain't even pro. This is World Junior Championship. Oh, God.
I mean, they went pro. A lot of these guys went pro after this. C-Band did. Ooh, Daniel right away comes out with Carter Hart. That's a good answer. It was really tough because USA got the win, but I guess what happened was Canada freaking bobbled the puck. And it went in behind the goaltender, and USA got the win on that one, but they called it the own goal. So they scored on themselves.
I'll just stick with C. Malcolm Subban, one of them's got to be a C.
C-Band. Yeah, so we got A from Daniel. Let's see, I haven't seen anything from Worm Brothers yet. Like I say, this was really a good thing. And the answer is D, Mason McDonald. So far, only Daniel has one correct answer. So, man, so far, Daniel is stumping King James. So
Worm Brothers come in with B.
Oh, B? All right.
Yeah.
That's a good one. All right, it's all good. It's all good, Worm Brothers. We got you. All right, so Daniel's still on top. And just to let you know, Worm Brothers, a tie does beat King James. So we have a tiebreaker question just in case there is a tie. So, all right. So, which American player famously taunted the Canadian bench with a hot dog celebration after scoring the 2017 World Junior Championships? Was it Austin Matthews? Was it Trevor Zegras? Was it Clinton Richter? Was it Matthew Tkachuk? Or was it Jeremy Roenick? Good luck, everyone.
Well, I only know two names on there that I've heard. I think Jeremy Roenick, he actually played for the Stars. So
yeah,
I'll just go with him since I know that name.
He was a hot dog, but Daniel comes up with C, Clayton Keller.
The one time I go against C, it'll probably be right.
Ooh, man. That's crazy. Like, I still haven't seen Worm Brothers answer. Like, he did answer, I think, Gold Bar or something, or I don't know what that
hot
is.
Dog.
I don't know what that. Yeah,
it's a hot dog.
Yeah, so that is correct. He was the hot dog, but like I say, so the answer is C. Clayton Keller was the answer. So, man, crazy King James is down on this competition. Like, oh man.
Just do a hockey one, especially one that doesn't even freaking World Junior Championships.
Dude, I could have warned you, Daniel, that he was gonna get salty like this when you started winning. Like, when you start winning big, He doesn't like it. It should have been about Longhorns. Should have been about Texas. Should have been about something else. But it's all good. We got it. And like I say, King James can still tie and lose. It's all good. But you have the tiebreaker still, King James. So it's all good. All right. So question number 4. Canada's men's hockey team suffered a shocking defeat to the USA in 1988 Nagano Olympics. Who was the U.S. goalie that shut out Canada in that game? Was it A, Mike Richter? Was it B, John Van Beesbrook? Was it C, Jim Craig? Was it D, Guy Herbert? Or was it E, Martin Brodeur? Good luck, everyone.
Well, I think in 1998 it would have been rookies playing. That wasn't pros.
Kinda.
And the only name I recognize on there is Martin Brodeur. I don't even recognize any of them others. I'll go with Brodeur. I think I've heard of Mike Richter before.
Dude, why are you getting my, like E answers now all of a sudden, like thinking that that's the right answer? Like, I don't.
It's the only name I recognize.
Alright, I don't know, man. I don't know. It seems kind of suspect. Alright, Daniel is going B. Is that A?
A.
He's going A. Oh, he's going A. Alright. Alright, King James. So, I'm going to give you a second chance on this one. If you were to pick another name on the list that was not E, which name would you pick?
I'd go with A. It's the only other name I recognize.
All right, so you're going to copy Daniel, and you guys are both wrong. It was B, John Van Beesbrook. So, awesome.
Never even heard of that name. That's right. That is the right
Word Brothers just wants to say outlet on everything. All right. Man. We'll give Worm Brothers a tie, and he'll win.
Well, I'm guessing I ain't even got one right yet.
All right. In the 2002 Olympics women's hockey final, which controversial penalty statistic fueled Canada's belief that the referees were biased against them? Was it A, USA had 10 power plays while Canada had none? Was it B, a Canadian player was ejected in the first period? Was it C, the USA was awarded a penalty shot in overtime? Was it D, the referee openly admitted to favoring the USA? Or was it E, the Team USA coach was offering money for big hits that didn't result in a penalty? Good luck, everyone.
Well,
I'm telling you, there's a lot of controversial things in this one. We'll see. Daniel is going with A.
I was gonna think it'd be something that would have caused Canada to lose, and that would be like a penalty shot in overtime.
Yeah?
I'll go with C. That sounds like a good one to me.
All right. King James goes with C, and boom! Daniel takes the win. A is the correct answer. The game did not go to overtime, and King James finally accepts defeat in a honorable manner and does not even get the tiebreaker question, which I will not even ask anybody.
Well,
unless
you know I don't know anything about hockey.
Unless you want me to ask the tiebreaker question. Then
go ahead. Let's see if I can get it.
What was the first year that the U.S. beat Canada in international hockey? And it's open to you, Daniel. You can put 8,000 years in the comments.
1960.
1960. All right, 1960. Come on, Daniel. What do you got? We got Daniel. Let's go. Let's see Daniel's answer. I guarantee it's not going to be 8,000.
Don't say 1700s, Daniel.
Oh, no. Daniel might have passed out. We might have lost Daniel. We never know. All right. Daniel says 1970. Oh, man. King James wins it. It was 1933. So.
I just took a guess.
He told you not to say 1970. He said 1970. Ah, damn it.
You lost, Daniel. You didn't get the.
I know. I should have said 55, man. Just say 55. Like.
I'm 2 for 1. I'm 2 to 1 on the extra one. Extra
just
question.
Predate. Dude. Oh, yeah. Man. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. He is a huge fan of mine, man. He loves it, man.
He has been
really
for 50 years of business.
Yeah, dude. 50 years. Backing me up, man. So it's pretty cool. But, all right, let's go to Man vs. Machine.
Oh, yeah. Got a new intro video for it.
For years, man tried to create artificial intelligence. On this segment, we find out, is AI smarter than King James?
Dude, it's so funny. When I woke up for work, I saw you send it to me, and I was like, "Oh, cool! He's got a lemon head." All right,
let's see what we got here.
All right, code question. Code question of the week, number 93, getting up there. Balconies, porches, and decks that are within 4 inches horizontally of the dwelling unit shall have one receptacle installed accessible and not located more than blank above the balcony walking surface. A, I answered C. Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree. It's E, and it should be, I think it's 210.52 E3, I think, or E2, one of those. So it should be 6.5 foot E.
Ding, you are correct. And AI ChatGTP actually answered that exact code section with the wrong answer. So, man, beats the machine this week. They actually quoted that exact section. Then when I called them out on it, ChatGTP, I got you, bro. They said that was in previous code cycles. I looked back in the 2020 and it was still 6'5".
Yeah.
Or 6'6" or whatever. But, man, beats the machine this week. So awesome. Thanks for doing that new segment. And we'll go on to the
Leaves
wall
us
of shame.
One last one.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Shame. 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 Shame.
I'm telling you what, if you want to stop the wire thieves, look no further than this new technique of the dual lock on the LB. Like, dude, I saw this, I was like, this is 100% shame right here. Like,
wow.
like you spent like $1,000 to like not even lock your LBs off. Like they should have done them like top to bottom. If they're gonna do it like top to bottom. I think you got a good system, but side to side, you're done.
So it looks like they have a little piece of metal or something that wraps around it, and then they cut little slots in and then sled that piece through and put locks on it.
Yeah. And
wow, that's interesting.
Big thanks to Matthew Cast for posting that in the Electrical Wall of Shame group.
Wow, that's something. I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, he had some really good angles of it. Looks like they used threadless connectors with RMC too, so it's pretty solid setup. Like I don't think you really need to lock the covers off, but
wow, that's something.
There was a lot of really cool comments on that post. Like, oh man, these guys don't understand lockout tagout, but
wow,
a lot of people don't understand lockout tagout. Like. Maybe you just do that, take a picture of it, be like, hey, you got lockout tagout? I'll just send it to my boss, be like, yeah, I got lockout tagouts right here. See if they buy it.
I've never seen that before. Wow. That's something.
That's pretty good. But I really appreciate you putting this together. I really apologize about all the things that happened with, your pops and everything else. And, you maybe need to tell Frank when he drives him around, he needs to get a little bit lower truck or something, maybe give him a step stool or something, maybe get like a little, fold out stool that comes down or something he could jump off of or something, because that's rough, man. I know I always had lifted trucks and they're always rough to get in and out of. And
well, he only has it lifted like 2 inches. I mean, it's not like it's really, really lifted, but I know he felt bad because he's called and checking on him, how's he doing, and he told me, he goes, yeah, he just got out real fast. He goes, hell, there was nothing I could do. He got out so quick. And I said, well, that's all right. So matter of fact, after we get off here, I need to go in there and check on him, see if he's doing all right. So
nice.
I've been trying to make him get up and walk around, get that soreness out. And he's like, oh, I don't feel like I don't give a shit, feel like it or not. You need to move around. You lay in that bed. I said, that's not good for you. So you need to get up. So I've been making him walk around, and get something, fix himself something to eat. I'm just not doing everything for him. I want him to get up and work everything out. So, and I think having him do that the last 2 days made him feel better today. So
nice.
We'll get him there. It'll take him about 2 weeks to get over it.
Make him go over there and subscribe to the channel and subscribe to NAC Code, subscribe to the Stall Cut Electrical Education. And you know what? I guarantee he will be a lot freaking happier running around, checking out our channel, our page, our group, and everything we're doing. Dude, it's really awesome. Like, it means a lot, like, when just hearing the stories from him, 85-year-old, hearing the stories from him as an educator from his tenure.
Oh, yeah.
It means a lot to me. It like me and you, we were both sitting there learning one night from him, just like, what? We're sitting there like, what?
Yeah, he told a couple things I hadn't heard. I was like, oh, I hadn't heard. I don't remember you saying that. I was like, I don't remember that shit.
Yeah.
Use that multiplier.
He goes, that's where these myths come from. These inspectors hear it, and then they, pass down, and then we're like, what? Like, really? And it was just that whole concept. But thanks so much. I appreciate Daniel. Thanks so much, Worm Brothers. Appreciate you, Worm Brothers, jumping in here. Appreciate everyone. David Englehart, appreciate you jumping in. It means a lot. Thanks so much, Weedman, coming in with your insight and all your excellent comments. And like I say, he said I think like 76 times. Like, First time we've ever got to have any comments in here. So, he's just agreeing with you, James. That's all he's doing. But
well, like I say, he didn't argue anything that I showed. So,
yeah,
because it's hard to argue something that's in black and white. I mean,
true.
So,
dude, 100%. But I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for everyone joining every week. We really appreciate it. And like I say, go USA, go Avalanche. And as always, make every day an easy day. I'm out.
Amen. Everybody have a good week, and we'll see y'all next Thursday.